An important election is coming up, and we've got the candidates. I'm Jim Drastic.
I'm Tiffany Drastic.
And today on The Dangerous Ones, we've got a powerhouse lineup. Lisa Ann Walter, star of ABC's smash hit Abbott Elementary. Jolie Fisher, Golden Globe nominee for her role on the groundbreaking sitcom Ellen. And David Jolliffe, who played Bernie on the Emmy Award-winning iconic 70s series Room 222. Why are they here? Because they are fighters. Each of them has spent years on the front lines ensuring SAG-AFTRA, the union representing over 160,000 actors, performers, and media professionals, protects members' wages, rights, and dignity. And now, with real threats like artificial intelligence reshaping the industry, diluting contracts, replacing likenesses, and undermining creative control, they're back on the ballot, running once again in the union's upcoming election. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to welcome to the Dangerous Ones, Lisa Ann Walter, Jolie Fisher, and David Jolliffe.
Woo!
Friends, welcome.
Thanks so much for coming in, you guys.
Yeah, welcome, you guys.
Thank you for having us.
You bet.
You guys are the dynamic duo. You've been doing the right thing for as long as the internet has been a thing.
Well, thank
Well,
you.
we're proud to do it, and we're proud to be friends with you guys. And first, since everyone on the show today is running for local Los Angeles office, let's start there, and then we'll move on to what's going on nationally.
Great.
Jolie, let's start with you. You're coming off a successful term as National Secretary Treasurer, which is an incredible responsibility, and now you're running for Los Angeles local president. What are some of the challenges that you see facing the local in the next term, and where would you direct your attention if elected?
Okay, wow. Well, it has been my honor to serve for 2 terms alongside President Drescher, who really let me have my autonomy in running the financial solvency of our giant organization. And we had incredible returns on investments, and the crown jewel, we were able to purchase for the first time for this union a national headquarters that is an insane building, that it has a covered parking lot and an annex lot where we can build the theater of our dreams.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm so
Something
excited for you guys.
that
It's been so long.
Yes, and it was
So
something
long.
that my mom, Connie Stevens, was the secretary treasurer of Legacy SAG years ago, and she was like, this union doesn't own a building. We keep renting a building. So yay, I'm super excited about having that happen. And what I discovered in my relationships with elected leaders, our governor and our mayor and people that serve in our House and Senate, that I needed to turn my razor sharp focus back to my hometown. And so Los Angeles I'm an Angelino. We have suffered through, like the rest of the world, a global health crisis and the prolonged work stoppage with the strikes, and then fires and floods and cue the locusts. But I want to see Hollywood be Hollywood again, and we've had runaway production for over a decade, right, guys? And we should be comparable, like our incentives and our taxes should be comparable to it. It's too hard to raise a family or buy property or stay in this very expensive state if you're not working. So that's my plan, is to bring production back to Los Angeles and to this country, and do it with these relationships that I've really fomented.
Fantastic.
That's great.
And this, us here on The Dangerous Ones, fans of the show already know this, but Tiff and I are both union or ex-union members, I should say. She was in the IBEW, and I was a Teamster for 13 years. I'm a vested Teamster, so we are a big fan of unions on this show. So this is fantastic. And I know you had a question as well, Tiff.
I did. I had a follow-up for Jolie. During the 2023 strike, you were out on the front lines, all of you guys, and I appreciate that so much. As co-chair of Government Affairs and Public Policy, you joined Lisa Ann in Washington, D.C. with Executive Vice President Linda Powell to push for the No Fakes Act, which would protect voices and likenesses from unauthorized use in deepfakes and synthetic media. So I was wondering if you could delve in a little bit about AI and the threats of it and what it does for working actors.
Well, we definitely struck for the existential threat of AI and trying to put guardrails and rules and restrictions for consent and compensation for any time our image or likeness or body movement or anything is used. And we got pretty far. It was like in the 11th hour. I slipped this in because it was 11:07 and I ran down to the parking lot to have a Zoom call with some famous people who I said, we're about to sign this deal and we do not have the AI language that we need to close this up. And we did get it. And I was very proud to sort of do that jujitsu back channeling. I'm doing it all the time in government affairs and public policy with my relationships, but we need federal laws, we need state laws, we need all the things. And I think that there's an appetite on both sides of the aisle to protect. I hope that there is, to protect us from this. And we as performers, and now we as humans, we as a mother of 3 daughters, I want to be able for them to feel safe and secure in the world that their images are not being used. And we represent broadcasters. I mean, it's coming down the pike. So I'm going to continue to, Lisa, we had a great time doing it, but we were so well received there.
A lot of pictures. And what Jolie said, I know she stayed longer than me because I had to get back for work, but she stayed a whole extra day and met with 20 more people. My God, my feet have never. Listen, I grew up in DC. I know what Congress is like. I know about all the different buildings, but when you're walking them back and forth to try to make a 2 o'clock and then a 3 o'clock and you're in heels, let me tell you something. Work. I need a scooter. But I think what was interesting was that obviously we're concerned about our members and the future of, I remember we were sitting in what we call the CAGNY, which is a big room where we have our board meetings in LA. And somebody came in from what's it called? CES? In Vegas, where they talk about the new technology, and they were all excited. David, you remember? They were all like, oh, there's this new thing, and all they have to do is like record one person and they can use it to make ads.
Oh my God.
And I remember jumping up to the mic to be the first one to say, what are you so excited about?
Yeah. My goodness.
About putting us, every ad will be voiced by robot James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
And the rest of us will be, saying fries are up.
And we really are the canary in the coal mine, guys, because it's going to be every industry.
Well, that's the point, was that when we were there, one of the things that was discussed was the fact that looming very soon in our very near future is an estimate of, was it 28% of the jobs? And I mean, within a few years, not sometime in the future when it's Terminator, but like 28% of the jobs go away because of AI.
Oh my God.
So luckily, as Jolie said, there was interest across the board. Now, I'm not so naive as to think that it's not self-interest, because both sides of the boards in politics are like, well, how are they going to make me look like I'm saying something that I didn't say? How are they going to put me in a next to a hooker? Or,
right.
I'm sorry, an alleged sex worker.
Right.
Make it look like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's a self-interest piece of it, but I think we were very successful, and Jolie was, followed up in Sacramento, and yeah.
I'm going to toss it to David. You wear a lot of hats, right? Negotiating committee member, LA local second vice president, longtime national board member, and Jody Long has called you the Encyclopedia of the SAG Contracts. So now that we've sort of outside looking in, it feels like, especially the work that we've done as 11 Films and Membership First, and really bringing a lot of awareness to what the union has lost, 2025 feels like, and I'm just going to manifest it, that finally the union is going to be in the hands of some working actors who give a shit about the rest of the working actors in the union. Okay. And your union is full of people. The bulk of people in your union make less than $27,000 a year, right? What's the most pressing issue, not only for the local LA chapter, but nationally for your members?
Well, first of all, I hope that we all recognize the 2 powerful women that I get to run with for president and for these 2 vice president slots. There's a lot to accomplish. One thing that has really upset me is what happened in the health plan to our senior performers. And I'm now a trustee of the health and pension plan, Tiffany, and I can now sit in there and bring a different perspective into that group. I am hopeful that things are going to change when it comes to that. That was a big betrayal that happened to senior performers where
Yes.
they were promised that if they put in 20 years and they got to 65, that they would have secondary insurance that they could pay for through the union. And that was taken away from 8,200 people.
I'm sorry, David, I am so sorry to jump in, but what really upset me, and I think Tiffany, you were upset too. There
Oh
were
my God.
people that gave up all future residuals for movies made before 1960, people that we all love, that are icons in this business, like Shirley Jones.
Yes.
who-
Yeah.
I just sat Saturday. I had lunch with Shirley.
Oh,
And they took, she said, take my money, set this up for everybody because I am for this union giving pension and health to as many members as possible.
Right.
So
When you
set it up, and they took it from her.
Oh my God.
when you think that someone like Shirley gave away television residuals for Carousel, The Music Man,
Oklahoma.
my
Oklahoma,
goodness.
and all of those residuals for every movie made prior to 1960 were given away in lieu of the studio's funding and seeding a health and pension plan in 1960 for SAG members.
Oh my
My
God.
And
goodness.
those people were betrayed. So listen, with Jolie and Lisa Ann and with myself and the slate of candidates that we have here in Los Angeles, somebody said something about, not fucking around. We're not fucking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not here to cause chaos. We're here to find solutions and to fix these problems. We have streaming residual issues we need to fix. We have AI that needs to be addressed where we have enough firewalls up around that so that our business is protected. And it is all in everyone's self-interest to keep this business alive. I'm really excited about this. We're going to be going into this next TV theatrical negotiation. We're going to be putting a team together that is going to be a strong, vibrant team, but we also realize that our responsibility is to make sure that we're not hobbyists, that we're working as professionals, but also that the studios can work with us so that business stays in Los Angeles. Also, listen, we're Los Angeles centric, but we're also national board members. We want to make sure work stays in the United States of America. But LA has taken a huge hit, and we feel very responsible to make sure that that business comes back here.
I swear, when Tiffany and I were doing the videos for SAG over the years, she would get off the phone with Lisa or something like that, and she'd go, "Wait until you hear this fresh hell that they're doing to these people." And she told me about the residuals and all this stuff and the healthcare. And then you see Sharon Stone, I believe, saying, "I missed it by $13,
13
or whatever it was," and you're going, "This is insanity."
And Ed Asner leaning back in his chair going, "What?" Oh,
And the gem
You
of him.
you cannot have people making contributions on their residuals going into the health plan, and they're over 65 and considered then that they're retired, and not count those contributions that are being made. So I can only tell you as a trustee now that I'm bringing a perspective into that room that you cannot take people's contributions and not count them for a benefit if they hit the thresholds, the earnings thresholds. So just know that all of us, the three that you're looking at here, and the other 20, and the other 100, and the other 500, and the other 80,000 members in Los Angeles are behind us to make sure that this is remedied. You cannot treat people like this. You can't take their money and just say, "Oh yeah, we took your money. We're not going to give you a benefit for it."
Funds everybody else. And also, by the way, the rule is that they can only count session work, which if you're not in the union, and I'm speaking to people who might not know, that's saying thank you for a lifelong contribution that shored everybody else up. Now, oh, I'm sorry, you're 85 and you can't go out and pound the pavement and look for an acting gig. You can't be on a set for 16 hours. Tough luck. You don't get benefit from this insurance. It is untenable. It's unbelievable.
At
And
a point in life where that's what you need is
Yeah.
more support.
we're also, we all three of us come from a period, and you're talking about legacy SAG, where our insurance was the envy of not just the entertainment business, but I would talk to other people in other unions and talk about my insurance is fantastic. Like, it was so good. It was a reasonable premium. The coverage was enormous. And then it started to get I think probably like everybody's, more premium, less coverage, more
Yeah.
premium, less things, you had to go out and fight for everything. And it became more and more of that since merger, to where, I tell you one thing that I'm going to fight for. Sorry, you didn't ask me a question, but
That's all right.
I'm
Go on.
passionate. This is one of the biggest reasons, and we all know this. Why do you join a union? So you can go to the meetings?
No.
You join
No.
the union so that you can have health and, especially in our business, some money coming in later on in your life when you're not booking work and you need that help. That's why residuals exist, right? So one of the things that I looked at, and I heard this from a number of people, is that, and this is just one example, but I had friends that wanted to get IVF, and they are a gay male married couple, and it wasn't covered. And I was like, why not? I know. I was talking to someone else about getting their IVF covered. Well, it's covered if you're a woman, but not if you're a man. And I went, in our union?
Right.
So I just get ready, David, because listen, I'm going to sit here and go, I want this to happen and this to happen. And then no, I get on the phone and I text David Jolliffe and go, how do I make this happen? Which I did for another health issue. You know this, Tiffany, back when we saw the heartbeat laws going all over the country.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't watch my union sisters going into states that are tantamount to a war zone, where they might not be able to get life-saving reproductive care or a morning after pill or birth control, and they don't know. They take a job, they go into a state where the laws are different from where they live and have no idea. So I brought it up at convention. We were able to put an interactive map from Planned Parenthood that kept up with the laws as they changed to the minute. We can't do it as a union, but we can bring in other groups. And since I won $1 million for them on Jeopardy.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
No, quid pro. No, not quid pro quo. That's not legal.
Something else that I wanted to mention
Please.
In safety. So if you are lucky enough to get a job and to be working, that you should be safe, your physical person on a set, and also fear of retaliation is stuff that's happening right now. And we were approached by different groups of who are marginalized, and especially in today's world where we aren't safe to walk out on the street in a lot of places. And I would love to focus on that a bit more, the safety of our members out in the world and on sets. And we just recently made intimacy coordinator a category. They are a full category in the union, covered with all their benefits and all their things. And that's an important position now that's not mandatory, right? Because there aren't enough of them yet, but they are in the deal. They're in our deal to protect members who are working in sort of hyper nudity or sexual situations on television and film. So that's another thing that we're really excited about pushing forward.
Background artists were not given warning if they were going to show up on set and be asked to strip down.
That's right.
Like,
Oh
you're
my
getting naked
God.
today. So my grandkids might see me be in an orgy scene. I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah.
At work, you're afraid you're not going to get called again. So there were things like that we fought for and won, and that are super important. You don't think about it unless you're in the situation, but that's why we're doing it. Listen, I have a dream job. I love my job. I'm so lucky to have it. But it was a minute ago when I was calling a friend of mine who was a producer and saying, give me a day's work so I can make my insurance for myself and my 4 children. And this is why we do this work for people who can't negotiate their contracts.
Absolutely.
And Jim, can I just say too that
Please.
We're just the tip of the spear. I want to make sure that you know that there are 45 other board candidates in Hollywood behind us. We have Sean Aston running for the national president and Michelle Hurd for our secretary treasurer, which was Jolie's job. And we have an army of people behind us that are all like-minded. We have found a way to bring ourselves together to coalesce around key issues where there is no air between us. So this is a first that I've witnessed in 30 years. And I think with Jolie's leadership in the LA presidency and Sean's as the national presidency, and the tornado that is Lisa Ann Walter and Michelle, that I'm very, very enthusiastic about what's ahead of us, and I'm very confident that that we're going to move forward in a very responsible but effective way. I love these two women so much. They have done so much for our union, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited.
Well-
Thank David.
Well, I wanted to ask, David, I was curious. I mean, I assume all of you have been in the negotiating room when these contracts happen. Is that true? Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've negotiated 10 of them and been on 30 negotiating committees.
You're the one.
When I was in the Teamsters, I was on the negotiating committee, and I remember, and I loved my company. I loved the owners of my company. They got their hands dirty just like we did. They worked extremely hard. But I'll tell you what, the second we sat across from them in that hotel room, it was a whole different story.
Yeah.
And they had a list of reasons why we didn't deserve X, Y, and Z. So I'm here to tell you, if you can hear my voice, folks, you need fighters for you. How has it been? What has been your experience from the industry when you are negotiating?
Tell him, David.
Girls,
Tell 'em,
I was
David.
going to have listen. Some, people can smell, I don't want to say smell fear, but they can see from past history.
Weakness. They can smell weakness.
Yes.
They can smell the weakness, and we gave it to them for years, decades, by accepting bad deals and thanking them for it. So that era is done. But we want the studios to know, and also the commercial producers, when we do that contract and all of our other, ancillary contracts down the line, that we are here to work with you. We're here though to protect our members and to make fair deals. The days of SAG and AFTRA and SAG-AFTRA rolling over and saying, "Thank you, sir, can I have another?" Those days are gone. But that doesn't mean that we're strident asswipes that are going to, hold out and cross our arms and just say, "Nee."
I'm a strident
Like
asswipe.
them. Like them.
I knew that was coming
For me.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. So, we are responsible human beings, but we do this for a living. We've all done it for a very long time. We have a team of working performers behind us, especially background actors. They have a strong advocacy in our group. Singers, dancers,
Stunt
they're all
performers.
they're stunts. Exactly. They're all there. And we're going to start what's our W&W process that Jolie and I are going to lead here in Los Angeles. W&W stands for Wages and Working Conditions, where we're going to hold in person every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 to 1 in the Cagney room and on Zoom. You're going to be there. And we want hundreds of people to, yes, you are, Vice President Walter. And then we're going to have, we want hundreds of people there because we want to hear what's on your mind and what you can tolerate as far as where we don't need to fight, but where the lines need to be drawn.
And how we can build on the gains that we have. Like, we need to go in there and just say, this is what we got here. We wrote a few new pages, as Fran likes to say, but like, we're here. We got to just keep building.
The greatest arrow we have in our quiver is labor peace. It's
Right.
It's not trading things. We traded away syndication residuals, and compromised syndication residuals by 90%. And more and more do we keep giving. It's not a trade. We are here to build on what we have, and what we are giving you is labor peace and a great workforce that can show up, know their words, hit their marks, get 10 pages of television done in a day, and get the fuck out.
And here's something that's really important too. If you're not in the business, what's important to remember is, there is outside of the business an erroneous conception that everybody's rich in this business.
Yeah.
Everybody is a millionaire. I saw you in a movie. Your Parent Trap plays 3 times a day. How are you not sitting on a pile of, gold-plated Trump money? And I'm telling you, that ain't not how I wish that's how it works.
By the way, Lisa, you were fabulous in that.
Thank you.
You were. Yeah.
But with every new contract, when it was VHS, it was great. They gave me a check that year, and I'm like, I can afford to pay for my kids' school. I still have two kids going to college, as I know you guys are dealing with too. Yeah. I still have 2 kids in. So when you went from VHS to the DVD formula, they were like, well, we don't know if anybody's going to buy DVDs, so how about we give you 1/8 of the money? And our side went, okay.
I cannot believe that.
And even from back then, before I was involved in the union, I was like, why don't we do the same deal? And then if it makes money, we make money. And so do you.
Right.
And if it doesn't make money, nobody makes money. Like, that made sense to me. But every time we go to cable, deals worse. We go to streaming, even worse. So all of these people that are making less money, and put on top of that the threat of AI, which they try to get away with saying, how about we only use this many background and then we digitize the rest? Well, remember this, Mr. and Mrs. America. When they do away with that, they do away with the makeup artist and the caterer and the dry cleaner and the Teamsters that have to drive these people and all of the other departments that support the business, and then this incredible economy that we have here in California. And then all of a sudden that starts to tank. So that's what we're talking about. It is not trying to get more money for
Brad Pitt.
Cooper. Brad Pitt.
Right.
Yeah, they're doing great. They're handsome and rich. They're fine.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this, because I want to get your guys' take on the folks that are running nationally. Sean Astin is running for national president. Everybody listening knows Sean Astin from iconic roles as Lord of the Rings, The Goonies, Rudy, and obviously Stranger Things, and countless others. But what they may not know is Sean Astin, the person and his character. Could you folks speak on that?
Sean Astin is an amazing human being. And I've grown over the years to really love him and understand that he has this union in his heart. It's in his blood. His mother, Patty Duke, was the president of SAG.
Yeah.
I've never seen in my 30 years anyone, let alone someone running for president, who has jumped in and participated in the way Sean Astin has. He was with me when I did the animation negotiation. He did the Netflix negotiation with us. He was on the TV theatrical negotiating committee. We did commercials, brought him in on commercials, where he shifted his entire schedule. We negotiate that contract in New York, and it was 60 straight days. And he was there for 30 or 40 of them in person.
Wow.
And the other times, he somehow got on an airplane and tricked the plane Wi-Fi to get him on Zoom. We're still trying to figure out how he did that.
Perfect.
I've never been able to do that.
He does it. He does it.
Also, one other thing that people may absolutely not know is that in all of the strife and struggles and that all of our members have gone through the past decade, however long it is, that Sean and I formed a mental health committee. And we went to, Lisa came with me to that as well, went to the White House to talk about the consistency and authenticity of storytelling of mental health, which is basically every story. It's love stories. It's stories of, to make sure that we were properly portraying that in what we were putting out there, and also to take care of people who were really, really hurting post the pandy. And
Love
obviously,
that. I'm going to start saying that. Yeah.
How was your pandy?
Pandy.
And then during the strike, which we noticed people on the strike line fatigue, where we were like, what are we really fighting for? And I think we formed Zoom calls where people could come in and talk about devastation and loss in the wake of the fire.
Worry.
And so it's something that he and I, we have mental health challenges in our bloodstream in family members that, suffered from different things. And I think we recognize that in people suffering. And we formed a mental health committee and do try to take care of our family out there.
He seems like one of those guys, like, even through the screen, you're like, that's a good guy.
Like,
you just, that's a good guy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
I'm not going to cross the street when I see him coming. He can sit and talk to my daughter in a coffee shop.
You betcha.
know?
Also, Michelle Hurd is running. She's running for the National Secretary Treasurer. She's going to try to take the seat you're vacating, Jolie. Can you talk a little bit about her?
Well, she and I are really good friends, and we all have served as well with the other people on the screen in these boxes on the national board together. And she's
in committees as well.
many committees, sexual harassment or anti-sexual harassment.
Yes,
And
one of the people that helped get the Crown Act passed and for women with textured hair to not be discriminated against. She does a lot of stuff. She's
Wow.
in my
Wow.
committee.
And I think that I'm going to stay with the finance committee hopefully Sean has agreed to that and walk her through like what we have been able to accomplish. You know, the financial
And tell how the building's doing.
The building's amazing. I did start with the building, but yeah, in 2028, it's income producing, by the way. We have 2 tenants.
Thank you. Right.
And when they vacate, we will go in and make it our own. And we have that lot where we're going to make a beautiful theater and other like ancillary offices and things like that. And it's grown in value, which is amazing. The 3 parcels and worth, and we're just excited about like bringing her into the fold and having her be in charge now.
The great thing about the building is that we were so frustrated that we were paying and it was $6 million a year in LA alone rent.
Oh my
Oh,
And it was
God.
making
God.
us crazy.
Yeah.
We found this building, we got it at a great value. It's a 120,000 square foot building with only 2 tenants. So
Oh.
this building we could have 50 tenants and we're chasing each one every month. There's only 2 people. There's somebody who has the first floor and somebody else has floors 2, 3, and 4. They pay their rent on time. The thing is netting us millions of dollars a year in profit. We have this acre lot on Laurel Canyon at Chandler,
Nice.
where that has quadrupled in value in the last 3 years. Quadrupled.
Wow.
Over
That's
4
crazy.
times what we paid for.
And the parking lot has
We have a
quadrupled in
300,
value.
we have a 4-story, 300 parking spot garage on the other side of the street. And on the other side of that street is the Orange Line, the Metro link. So
Perfect.
it's an unbelievable spot. We felt very fortunate to get this building. And for those of us who are going crazy like a Mad Hatter, writing a $500,000 a month check for rent.
Oh my God. I
Since
lose
the
my mind.
90s, this is, I thank you, Jolie, and also Jolie's mom, Connie, because I was by her side then too when we started fighting for this. But Jolie fucking pulled it off. And she's
Nice.
Hey, and now you guys are going to have spaces to make self-taping studios, right? I had heard you guys talking about that a little.
Self-tape and a dance studio.
Oh.
And a great commissary kind of vibe with healthy food and our boardroom, because our
Yes.
members need to be able to feel that like they belong somewhere. And I think we've been, the SAG-AFTRA Plaza is fancy and we have our Cagney boardroom and all that, but this will be ours that we own and we
Yeah.
can make it what we want it to be. And it's really, I definitely want to see that to fruition myself, to be on that.
And Jolie did an amazing job along with Ariana Zanto, who's our financial officer. We did a density flow chart on where all of our members live. And
Oh.
the majority
And
staff. The majority of our members and staff live within a few mile radius of this new building, as
Perfect.
opposed to Fairfax and Wilshire, which did not have the same kind of density.
And
So
right
if-
around the
Unless you're a
corner,
dinosaur bone, because that's right.
That's right, with the tar pits.
All I'm saying is that ever since Marie Callender closed, there is no reason to be over there.
My goodness. Well, listen, I know we're up against it a little bit on time, but I wanted
Did we go over? Did we go
I was
over
going to
13
quote your book
minutes?
and everything.
Oh, she had a quote from the book.
Stole it.
Quote the book. Quote the book.
Okay,
Quote the book.
okay.
Well, you do the quote and I'll shut up because I got to go to work.
Yeah, you got to go. Okay, go ahead.
This is about being
hold up your book.
Hey.
He has it.
Okay, this is about being a girl's girl. Why not be our own best friends? Why not treat strangers like you would treat your best friend or your sister? Instead of making fun of the poor girl with toilet paper stuck to her high heel, stomp on it for her so she's free of it. She'll thank you. Thank you. That's why I love you guys. Because
That's right.
girls are really hard to find out here. And it's really encouraging. And you and David and Sean, you guys are so authentic. And I know I'm not in the union, but every time I talk to you guys, every time I see you guys, I know that your members are in the best hands that they've been in years. And I cannot thank you all for just having the balls to keep fighting every single day, because it's hard out here.
super genuine.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Tiff.
Thanks, Tiff.
I love you guys.
We love you. We love you, unionists. You're unionists and unionist lovers. So we
That's
really
right.
appreciate it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everybody go to the coalition2025.org. Check it out. We were on it today. It's fantastic. And real quick, the ballots have gone out, yes?
Today.
Yes.
Ballots are out. Guys, get those back in. Mail those ballots back in. When do they have to have them in by?
We want the ballots back by September 8th. The ballots are picked up and counted on September 13th. So to make sure that they are in time, September 8th, if you live in Los Angeles, you can walk them into the post office.
Don't wait till the last minute.
That's
We're
right.
already Liberty Gibbet artists. Don't wait till the last minute. When you get the ballot, fill it out right then. It's long, and David says it's a pain in the ass, but if you do it right away and get it out, then you won't forget it. And the most important thing about being an involved union member is actually start with voting. Start there. And then after that, you have the right to complain. If you don't vote, shut up.
Again, go to the coalition2025.org. Folks, you should be voting for these folks on the screen. We have been incredibly fortunate to call them our friends and to be part of this movement. Again, thank you to our guests, Lisa Ann Walter, Jolie Fisher, and David Jolliffe. Thank you, guys. Honestly, thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Love you so much.
Love you
Love
too.
you too. Bye.
Love you.
Bye.